Oh, is this going to be another grab bag? Can I do my grab bag?
Please.
I want to, please.
Well, I like to be surprised too once in a while. As you.
Well, good. Then the record you've been looking at is not going to be the first one I'm going to pick.
Okay, that's fine with me. I'm okay.
See what I've got down here.
Cut. I have not seen this record. I like Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs, and this is the best of Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. I got the one with the Little Red Riding Hood on it.
Where he's wearing a turban, and the rest of the guys are all in Arab garb as well.
It might be.
That's the way they usually did it.
Okay.
Even when they
Yeah.
performed, they were in Arab
Just remember a
garb.
Little Red Riding Hood character. But Woolly Bully, all the hits are in here, folks.
Clever
Yeah.
picture on the back where they're all trying to escape or something there. Clever.
But they were a real band, which a lot of these bands. You remember they had the Wrecking Crew, and they were that's really the grassroots. They would go
The
out
Monkees.
on the road. So many of them would.
Even
have
the
record-
Byrds were using the well, it's so widespread that the Beach Boys used the Wrecking Crew.
Right.
My
right
God.
there. But
I played different songs of Sam Sham and the Pharaohs where, like the Woolly Bully, and you play the B side of Woolly Bully, and you go, "Hey, solid!"
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always
So
nice.
this, when I play Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs, this is again a record that you go side one, side two. Every track really is memorable.
Yeah, that's always fun.
No time in which I go, hey, I gotta go find something else to do until they get a good track here.
Right. It's always nice when you got a group that the other songs are also fun, at least fun, right?
Yeah.
You got me. My brain's always going to other places, but it made me think about a band called the Destitutes, which I'll probably bring in at some point. But it was a little band from a ski resort, right? But they had not kettle drums. What do you call the ones with steel drums? Steel drums. So I was like a rock band with steel drums, and of course I picked it because that was different, right? But it was fun, and these guys are fun.
I thought it was fun when Fleetwood Mac did a hit song with the UCLA marching band.
Oh yeah. Tough.
And that was new at the time.
Yeah,
and I thought, whoa, this is really breaking out, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I wanted to march with them. Put me in a stadium and let's march.
Yeah. Well, I was already marching probably at that point.
Well, you've been in marching bands, so you know all about
Not
it.
marching bands. I was in drum bugle corps. We do. That's a whole different deal. We feel. We were doing a show that took all year to put out on the field, where marching bands were had a week to put out a show, and so we thought we were.
You're
on
being
different-
picky.
I was a little on the higher level.
You're
on
being
that, I
picky. There's a lot of marching. They march onto the field. They march off the field. Yeah.
Well,
And they go between songs. And how do they go between songs? They march.
Yeah, but we didn't have any flutes. We didn't have any saxes. We didn't have any clarinets.
But some
instruments that-
bands do.
Yeah. Well, this was gives you an in your face. If you've never seen a drum and bugle corps show, do yourself
They
a favor, go check it
now
out.
even have xylophones, and
They have lots of them.
yeah.
And
Sometimes as many as 10.
it's kind of funny because I think of one of the biggest ones, the Blue Devils. They started out as a bell corps, So they were doing just bells, and they then switched over and became a drum and bugle corps. And now I feel like when I see 8 marimbas on the field, that hey, maybe
We
we're going
broadened
back
that
going
out.
back to a bell corps.
Yeah. But I
Anyway.
like to see bands that broaden it out too,
Oh, sure,
Like I was
sure.
just mentioning with the
With-
marching band of
yeah,
UCLA and Fleetwood Mac. I mean,
right.
who would ever think of putting those two together and we're packaging
Actually,
a
I think
hit?
it was USC because I think it was the Trojans.
USC, okay, Trojan band.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But
He embarrasses
I'm being picky
me.
again.
He's making me look bad.
Nick Pitt.
Dizzy doesn't like to look bad.
sorry.
Oh my God, I'm hurt.
Why'd you wear that shirt today? Oh, okay, never mind.
No, I'm not talking. This is one of my heroes.
Dion. Dion's greatest hits. I was a little later. I think I was in college when I started getting into.
Oh
Dion.
yeah. This is early. He's definitely. If you look at early doo-wop groups, Dion and the Belmonts are on those records.
Right.
So
Well,
you're
that was it.
talking about late 50s.
Right.
That
And
is early.
I wasn't even born late 50s. So I checked out Run Around Sue and some of those records more in around 1980, 81, where I was like, oh, I picked up one and this song Ruby. And I might have got that because I heard Steely Dan's Ruby. I think it was Steely Dan. That sounds right to me. They did a cover of Ruby and I was like, oh, yeah. And then I heard his, and I was like, "Oh, I like that too." And then found some other of his records.
If you work out the math on that, till today, it's some of those recordings are 65 years old, which does make Dion a little bit on the old side.
Yeah. Well, he's been doing it for a lot of years,
And he still goes out and he's making not only new albums and downloads, of course, on Spotify and places, but Abraham Martin and John, for me, which is his song that he wrote at a very important time, the deaths of all three. And he wrote a very poignant tune. Very good word. He went to college. He got a degree, unlike Dizzy. Dizzy was wasting his time on such things as vinyl records, and he was in college, getting an education.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the Wanderers on this one. I wonder why. When you wish upon a star.
Is a teenager in love in there?
Lonely teenagers on here. Lovers who wander. A lover's prayer. Run Around Sue, of course, which we mentioned. A teenager in love. Where or when.
Well, Where or When, I love that. And that was recorded by, a lot of these were recorded by others, but that's a classic. Where or When. Holy smokes.
But that wasn't his tune. That was an older tune, right?
Maybe, because I know that a lot of the older pop people like Johnny Mathis also sang that and still does in his live shows.
Right. But yeah, Dion, especially his early stuff, I'm a fan of it for sure.
He broke up with Dion and the Belmonts early,
right,
so
right.
But
even his early solo records are strong records.
Oh, they are very good.
But when you go to the 70s, not always so strong. But there's probably things to appreciate. I just haven't myself appreciated all of it.
Well, in recent years, he's done albums where he did all kind of like standard blues or what I'd call the classic blues numbers, and he's
going to right genre. We like that. I mean, I'm all for that. More blues, please. Oh, you see, this is a record I probably wouldn't put in for Dizzy, but
not for me.
He put it in for me. I love prog rock, and yes, it was just wonderful. All right, so Dizzy's got the album Yes here. Yes, well, this is Going for the One. This is a little bit later, a Yes record. This isn't one I would think Dizzy would be able to talk much about, because this is more prog rock, not really his thing at the time. I got more into this. I had a friend that liked prog rock.
Is that Brian?
No, it was
another friend. You have more than one.
Velveeta, yeah.
Velveeta was her name?
Velveeta, yeah. No, his name.
Velveeta was his name? I knew there was a cheese, but I didn't know it was a friend.
It's a friend.
Wow.
And we'll probably get him at some point to talk about other prog rock bands. But yes, I loved Roundabout, and the one prior to that, Jump Over Three Squares, and close.
Good
close
information.
To the,
Whoa.
Close to the edge, down by the corner. We used to do the whole line, Wow. Where were you? Well, I was down by the river, down close to the, and just great music. Steve Howe on guitar, Rick Wakeman on organ and other keyboards, and even Rick Wakeman's solo stuff like White Rock, or the Henry the Fifth, the Wives of Henry V, or whatever that was one that's called. they're interesting and fun and grandiose, bombastic, all the things you're looking for in prog rock, and just a lot of fun. I have been disappointed going to see Yes more recently. I mean, they had a different vocalist than the main guy. I thought his voice was very good, but somehow the energy wasn't there. A band that's been playing a long time, it's hard to keep up the energy and give you that extra whatever you need to get the audience going.
Especially when you've replaced the vocalist. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh.
But the guy is very good. The guy that replaced it is very good. Sounds very much like Anderson. But there's other. I remember seeing Foreigner at in the Kingdome a million years ago, and a summer jam was the name of the concert where they had 6 or 8 bands playing that day, and but they were the headliner. And we'd seen Loverboy, and Loverboy had the audience cursing each other and jumping up and down and all sorts of fun things going on, and a lot of energy in the songs. And then Foreigner came out and kind of left us all kind of flat. At least left me kind of flat. It was like, okay, did it like the record, which, most people want to hear it that way. But it just wasn't a lot of interaction with the audience, just wasn't a lot of getting you up and going. And but in their prime, Chris Squire, all of them just were phenomenal. Of course, even when they got a little older, as far as bands are, getting older, and then they were kind of floundering a little bit, and then they got a hold of. Oh man, I'm forgetting the guy's name now. That they got a young guy that joined the band and had a group of songs, and that was Lonely Heart, or Owner of a Lonely Heart, and they used his music and had new hits and bigger hits and large hits with that one, and that artist who I wish I can remember his name right now. I feel bad that I'm going blank. I'll put it down here somewhere.
Because there's a difference between that is noticeable and causes an audience to be excited. If you just send it in and you're just covering it, it's going to be noticed because there's a subtlety there that makes it magic.
Right.
That's where the magic is.
Yeah.
And if you don't include the magic, then the audience is going to notice it. It's like when a band becomes bored with their own music.
Right.
And sends it in, the performance, and you go,
wow,
what happened? That was that song? That was the chart, but it didn't have the excitement.
And at that same concert, we did have Todd Rundgren was the middle band, and Todd Rundgren had a new album out, and I thought, well, we'll just go over the hits. He's not really. No, he did the whole new album, like we've talked. Usually you don't want that, but in this case, the new album was good. It was a great album, and he brought the energy. He had dance moves. He was, had a good band that was into what they were doing, and selling it, and had a back screen that was part of the performance as well, and was a full show, and you could tell he was excited about his music as well. And he also did another fun thing at that concert. Was the opening group was Emerson, Lake and Palmer, but it wasn't Emerson, Lake and Palmer anymore. It was just Palmer. So Carl Palmer was the drummer, and he had 2 guitarists, which was totally different from the magic of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. But it was a different way of hearing it. It was still good. And then they decided to do Lucky Man, and they brought out Todd Rundgren to do the vocals on Lucky Man. And it was very good. It was fun. It was a different way to hear it, and it was a new way to hear it. And for this guy who likes to hear things new, different, a unique way, for the most part, it was
Especially
fantastic.
if he brings the magic back.
Right, to a song. It's like, okay.
Let's just say he's really into it. I always like it when do a collaboration, and the new person to the group loves the music, and it just shows.
Right.
Shows in their voice or in the way they play, and you go, wow,
Well,
this really extends this music.
Well, it gives you a new lens to look through. You know,
Yeah.
where you've heard it a certain way for all these years, and
Good
here all
way
of a
to
sudden you
look
got
at
a new way, a new perspective going at it, and you bring something back from that. Mm-hmm. You got something more for us there?
Oh, I do.
Dizzy?
I'm beginning to feel bad though, because that was so good what you just came up with on Yes when you mentioned that it's kind of out of my ballpark, which it was. And
Well, there's so many things that I'm bring up and that are totally in your ballpark, and I'm sitting here going, I got nothing, dude, so on this one. But you know those artists, those especially those '60s artists, and then when we get to jazz, oh look out! I mean, forget it. Dizzy does know his stuff there, and I'll just keep my mouth shut.
I'm going to make this the last one. I had others, but I'm going to pass because I think this is going to be tough to beat.
Well, who's saying we're trying to beat anything?
No, but I mean, if anything else would kind of be like a letdown. You know? This deserves the encore. This deserves, all the love I could possibly give it.
Yeah, well, but if you had Charlie Bird at the end, I just think that would be bigger, But that's just me.
Yeah,
So
that was going to be the final record. That's what he's doing. It's an inside joke.
so Crosby, Stills, Nash. Well, this is the first one, right?
Yeah.
With Sweet Judy Blue Eyes on there. Marrakesh Express, Guinevere, You Don't Have to Cry. Well, finally, number 4 is about the first one. I'm going, well, that's not a solid gold hit. But Pre-Road Downs, no. But Wooden Ships, Back Inside 2, yeah, we're there again, right? Mm-hmm. And Helplessly Hoping.
Do you notice how many are on the first album?
Yeah, I haven't really
remember?
realized how many were on this first thing.
And this has been recently remastered and reissued, so you can pay big money now for it to be remastered.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. The thing also with Crosby, Stills, Nash, I've got the album Roll With It, or Roll On, which was Stephen Stills' demo when he first came to a record. I'm not sure. I assume he was. It was just his demo tape. So it's got 5 hits on it, but they weren't released as the demos, and so he already came in with 5 solid songs.
This first record, and most of it is him.
And I don't know.
Wooden Ships, of course, is Crosby.
Yeah, Wooden Ships definitely is Crosby. He just had a good backlog already.
Look at that; it's in a really good.
Yeah, it's like it's so
liner.
good. There's no way to open it. I'm like going, what the? Oh, here it is. Okay. Wow, sealed for your protection or its protection. Let me write up the glasses. So yeah, Stephen Stills, Graham Nash, Marrakesh Express. Guinevere was David Crosby, which was another Sweet Judy Blue Eyes, I think, or was it Joni Mitchell?
It's for Joni Mitchell, right?
For Joni Mitchell, right? Mm-hmm. So he had the song Guinevere for Joni Mitchell, and Graham had the I'll Light the Fire, you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, but and full Pre-Road Downs. It was
I like that song,
Nash.
Pre-Road Downs. Wow.
And Lady of the Island was Graham Nash, but Helplessly Hoping, Stephen Stills, and Long Time Gone was David Crosby. So 49 bye-byes.
Well, I guess I'm wrong. I would say it was pretty evenly distributed.
It was pretty evenly distributed on this first album, but he did have a lot of songs in his bag to come in. Now the other guys, they might have had some.
Well, of course they did.
They had some things as well ready to go. So
So this is the one to me.
Oh yeah.
The number one.
Yeah.
The second album, Almost Cut My Hair, which is kind of a funny song that you could make a song that out of Almost Cut My Hair by David Crosby, but I really like the tune.
Well, no, I like Four Way Street.
I used to walk around saying that song, and people be going, with a lyric, I almost cut my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's a good one.
yeah, they're fabulous artists and great. I think that might be Dallas on the back there. Didn't get quite as much of a feature, but and I guess they tore this house down or something like the next day or something. This was some abandoned house that they decided to take this picture in front of. But wonderful artists, fun music.
Great time, great. There were so many good records, great records at this particular time. That you can't really go wrong if you're staying within the groups that were from Laurel Canyon.
Yeah.
Joni Mitchell, Crosby, either alone or together. Crosby, Crosby came out of the Byrds, which was all great music there too,
Right.
and he wrote some of the Byrd songs as well.
Yeah,
So,
and Mama Cass kind of got them all together.
and Graham Nash out of
the Hollies.
Hollies,
Well, you start with three strong artists right off the bat.
You're not kidding.
That's pretty much a super.
And then
group.
they, for their second album, add Neil Young.
Yeah, so
Not a bad fourth member, I'd say.
No, not at all, not at all. So that's our grab bag for today, and champ out.
Dizzy out, and thanks for watching.